Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic:
people who slept with their best friend, what happened? A friend's story. At first, they were sleeping together because the sexual tension was getting too much, but he couldn't commit because he had greater priorities to take care of. Then when he realized he was at risk of losing her forever, he took the plunge and asked her if she wanted to be with him, and she teased him, wondering why it took him so long. She actually helped him get through a lot of things and turned out to be the support he needed all along. They're happily married now. Ah, that was wholesome. Yup, gonna stop reading right here. We got married, and then divorced like 10 months later. Hey, we also got married, and then divorced like 4 years later. Edit, we had terrible families and lots of religious trauma and got together when we were 19. As toxic as it was still the most supportive thing either of us had in our lives. We grew and changed a lot and did a fair bit of harm to each other along the way, and eventually realized we weren't compatible at all and parted on good terms. If you're even slightly well-adjusted, this probably won't happen to you. We got married and then split up 18 years later. But we're still friends. We ended up laughing about it, but now there's a lot more awkwardness during movie nights. OMG, just bang again already. They want to. We said, no homo, and forgot about it. Just two guys giving each other preventative prostate checkups. A bro job, if you will. I caught feelings, she didn't. We dropped the benefits part after a year and worked it out. Then I met my wife-to-be, and it became irrelevant. This but opposite. He caught feelings, we didn't speak for 2 weeks but got over it, talked it out. Realized we would rather have each other in our lives no matter what. Now I'm married and we're still best friends. Have been since 6th grade and we're in our 30s. Why waste all that for some fun? We became closer, but it complicated our friendship afterward. Yeah, that's about right. I always had a thing for her, but she didn't like girls, except for one time, when she said I gave her the best orgasms of her life, then refused to talk about it after that night. Are you a Chapel Roan song? Deleted. Y'all gotta stop falling for straight girls. It's a women who love women tradition we need to break. Didn't sleep with him but would give him regular blowjobs. Nothing changed, he was still a brilliant friend and we still talk to this day even though he's married. The blowjobs stopped though, obviously. Guy 1 in life. You just gave regular blowjobs to your friend for no reason, no strings attached, nothing in return. WTF, are you just a little blowjob angel? There was a girl in HS who would do this for me at parties every so often. We were friends and we would see each other at a party and sometimes she would just kind of not say anything and pull me in a room for a BJ after we were both drunk. Plot twist is that she was actually who took my virginity, although I never told her that, but I'm sure she may have been able to tell. Little blowjob angel. Mao, I wish this sub had flair. Honestly, yeah, some people enjoy and get pleasure from pleasing others. I'm some people, so it might be rare but it is out there. I used to have regular sex with my college best friend over the span of 2 years minus the summers. She never wanted a serious relationship. Now that we're older, even though I haven't spoken to her in a while now, if she were to ever call up out of the blue and ask a favor, I would move heaven and earth to help her in any way. Just call her and tell her you miss her and want to see her again. This is exactly the kind of shit you don't want to regret when as you go through life. I'm marrying him in 3 weeks. I'm so excited. Edit, damn, some of y'all are bitter. Like a movie actually, Halloween party. I always had feelings for her. Thin the bottle, get in the closet, make out, figuring out they're my best friend, have a fun night, pretend nothing ever happened, couldn't, started dating, fast forward 5 years, married and a newborn. How old were you playing spin the bottle? Honestly, college parties would be more fun with games like that. Standing in a crowded room that's 90% girls and listening to the worst rap music ever released gets old pretty quick. I think frat dudes underestimate how quickly girls would jump to play. She's sleeping in the other room snoring like a chainsaw wearing her 110-year-old wedding ring. Christ, that old broad could wake the dead, I swear to God. She should get a sleep study done. A CPAP or a BiPAP would change both of your lives. She's 125 years old at least, the snoring concerns you. Yep. Saved our marriage. CPAP journey if interested. She was sleeping on the couch, I was sleeping in the bed. I knew it was bad, but I didn't know how bad. Went to the end. They gave me a lunchbox-sized device and said to wear this tonight. It comes with a heart strap, a finger thing, and a nose thing. Very unobtrusive and comfortable, compared to the usual overnight sleep study. Turns out I was having over 100 apneas a night. CPAP came in the mail. I went with the nose pillows, as opposed to the full face mask, and it's been a lifesaver, marriage saver. We sleep together again and I wake up ready to go, no coffee needed. I've used it for about a year and a few months now and will never go back. I have a travel-sized one as well. We dated for 3 years before he did it again, but now he slept with my best friend instead. Sorry bro. She told me I should move out of the flat and she never spoke to me again. Best friends for years and did everything together. One stupid night of drinking way too much destroyed that friendship real quick. Edit. For those wanting more backstory, my friend invited me out to a night of drinking followed by drinks at the flat. We were both absolutely hammered. I hadn't had anything to drink in years, so it didn't take much. Months later found out she had wanted to be in a relationship with me for years, so I think the sleeping together thing had always been a bit of an end goal for her, but then probably saw that it was more of a mistake on my part instead of the beginning of a relationship. Well, you did say you did everything together. Literally, sounds like you should have sat down and had a conversation about it. If the other party's reaction was to kick out and cut off all communication, I get the feeling that having a convo wasn't in the cards. Can't exactly have meaningful dialogue if the other party won't speak to you. I suspect there's more to this story. Most people aren't that mature. Removed. Username checks out. We got married, were together for 22 years, eventually divorced, which is a bummer losing your husband and best friend. Why did you guys divorce if you don't mind me asking? According to OP's post history, they got together at 16 and husband eventually had an affair. They cheated on each other with their best friends. She's happily snoozing away next to me. She's the absolute best and I don't deserve her. She obviously thinks you do, so, just remember, it's not BC you don't see you worth that it's not here. It was like fucking my brother. Never happened again, stayed best friends. Hey, it's me, your brother. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them. Quite the analogy. Married her last October after 10 years together. She's the fucking love of my life. I first read this as she the fuck of my life. Por que no los dos? He immediately stopped treating me like his best friend and started treating me like one of the other women he lied to about his feelings. 12-year friendship gone in 3 months. Oh, and the first time we slept together, he thought I'd be easily turned on after he vented all night about his ex like he would normally do. I wasn't. I always say that you don't really know someone until you try to date, sleep with them. I've met so many guys whose friends would probably be repulsed by some of the things they did with me. If only everyone could be a decent human being, lol. Dated a childhood friend of mine who I had a crush on all of middle and high school. We got together in college. First week of us dating, he said he wanted to have sex with other girls. But I couldn't have sex with other guys. He wanted to explore, but I had to wait for him. Can't even look at him when I see him at the store without intense shame for ever thinking he was hot. Oof. We got married. Seems a little rushed. It was the only way to stop the sex. She loved the sex, said it was the best she's ever had, and then pretended to love me until she ghosted me maybe 6 months later. I miss my friend. Before everything happened, she was great. Though I guess I didn't truly know her, only the mask she wore. This is very true. When movies teach people to say, it ended our friendship. Most of your friends drift away eventually anyway. That's just life. Don't be sad for experiences you had while they were around. How were her hot tits? This got a hearty laugh from me on the train this morning, tears of joy. Bro, same, but it didn't last 6 months. Now she's nearing 40, still single, still hot, never been in a serious relationship from what I've heard. She would always ghost guys when they wanted to get serious, but she must just have an internal clock where she nopes out after a couple months regardless. We had both just gone through bad breakups. We split a bottle of wine and started venting about our failed relationships. One thing led to another, and next thing we know we were in bed together. Then what happened? They have been in bed ever since. Not much changed at first. We would joke about it sometimes. Then about a year later she met the guy she would go on to marry. When he found out we had sex, he made her cut ties with me. I haven't talked to her in years. It went on for a few months. The sex was decent, but I knew she was moving a couple hours away and neither of us were interested in making that work, so it ended pretty amicably. We had a year or so of awkwardness and less contact, but that also could have been BC we saw each other much less with her moving. I moved across the country, she got married. We're still friends, but not like we were before. We got married 36 years ago. Slept with my best friend during COVID lockdowns. It then became a regular occurrence until we both started to catch feelings and it became a bit toxic. He eventually got a girlfriend and we stopped speaking for a few months after, but now we're back to being best friends and I consider his girlfriend one of my best friends as well. I'm thankful every day that it didn't ruin our friendship. Does she know that you and him slept together? Yeah, he told her our history very early in their relationship. She was always cool with it. More mature than most people, I'm sure. My 27M best friend, 28F, have slept together a handful of times over the past 5-ish years. After we spend a night together, we generally get breakfast, talk about it, and move on. Neither of us are interested in a relationship with each other, but we both have needs, and we trust each other to provide a safe environment to satisfy those needs. It's never really affected our relationship with each other, but it does get complicated when one of us is in a relationship. Having to explain to a girlfriend that my best friend and I have hooked up, but that it didn't mean anything beyond a release is a tough sell, even though it's true. The alternative is not revealing that, but that just seems scummy. We began a monogamous relationship that has taught me what loving someone really means. After months of sleeping together and cuddling, texting constantly and literally nothing else ever, I thought either he was gay or self-conscious, and I didn't look at him as anything past my best friend and rock in my messy life. It happened. And from that moment on I realized how incredibly attractive he actually is and couldn't think about anything else but him. That was a year ago next month, and I'm laying next to him now, smelling his skin and cuddling him while he sleeps, and I scroll Reddit. I still can't get enough of him, pensive face. After months of sleeping together and cuddling and texting constantly, you still thought he was just your best friend? Lol.